Did you know that the split second a joystick needs to travel from neutral to a direction is often the difference between landing your combo and eating a counter hit? That's the entire reason leverless controllers took over the fighting game scene. Swap the stick for flat directional buttons, and your inputs register the instant your finger moves, which is why almost every top player you watch on stream is tapping buttons now. The problem is, the market exploded, and picking wrong means sore wrists, phantom inputs, or a pricey board that won't even talk to your console. So I dug into the 7 best leverless controllers out there, and I'm breaking down who each one is really for. All the links are down in the description. Let's dive in. The Haute42 Cosmox C16 is where I'd point anyone who's leverless curious, because it hands you tournament-grade performance without the tournament-grade wallet damage. It runs the open-source GP2040CE firmware on a Raspberry Pi chip, giving you sub-1 millisecond latency and 1000 Hz polling. The Kyle low-profile switches are hot-swappable, so if you hate the feel, swap them out. But the party trick is the magnetic top plate. No screws, no stripped threads. Press one release button on the back and the panel lifts off, so swapping custom artwork takes about 10 seconds. The 16-button layout is clever too, with a keyboard-style up button on the top row and the big 30mm jump button for your thumb, so you can play WASD style or classic hitbox style on the same board. It runs natively on PC, Steam Deck, Switch, and Android, and PlayStation 5 wants a small adapter dongle, a mild extra step in exchange for a board that costs a fraction of the premium crowd. For what this thing does, the value is almost unfair. Now, if you'd rather never think about adapters again, the Qanba Sapphire S1 flips the priorities completely. It's officially licensed by Sony, so it plugs into a PlayStation 5 and just works. No dongle, no timeout, no praying at the tournament station. Qanba built it as a hybrid. The directions use Cherry MX switches for that fast linear press, while the attacks are genuine Sanwa arcade buttons, so your muscle memory from the cabinet transfers straight over. Here's the part nobody talks about enough. Underneath the directional buttons sit calibration screws that adjust the throw distance, roughly between 1.2 and 2 millimeters. So if you're a heavy masher who keeps getting double inputs, you dial the sensitivity down with a screwdriver, not with an app. With a screwdriver. That's the whole philosophy, because there's no companion software at all, so your setup lives in the hardware and follows you to any machine on Earth. The shell is reinforced polymer rather than aluminum, and that slight give absorbs the shock of hard presses, while the magnetic memory foam wrist pad means a 4-hour bracket doesn't leave your forearm screaming. If the last one was about competitive discipline, this next one is pure living room luxury. The Mayflash F700 Flat Elite is a beast, around 3 kilograms with internal metal plates and a full rubber mat under the base. Picture this. You're on the couch, 10 feet from a big screen, running a long set with a friend. Stretching a cable across the room is how someone trips and rips your controller onto the floor. This one solves that with real tri-mode connectivity, and the 2.4 GHz wireless is so quick you honestly cannot feel the difference from wired. You get around 20 hours per charge, a headset jack with a mute button, 5 SOCD modes, and a hinged compartment for the dongle. It's loaded with real Sanwa buttons, so the feel is deep, soft, and gloriously nostalgic, which arcade veterans adore and keyboard converts find a touch slower to spring back. At over 6 centimeters thick, it's built for lap play above all, so at a desk you'll want your chair a bit higher. On your knees though, nothing here sits more solidly. Then Haute42 comes back with a completely different attitude. The M Ultra Gen 2 runs the same open-source brain as the C16, wrapped in CNC milled aluminum and squeezed to 13.5 millimeters thin with Kale shadow hunting switches that actuate at 0.8 millimeters. That number matters. Your finger barely has to think and the input is already registered. A phenomenal edge on reaction defense like parries or micro dashes. The metal body also swallows press energy instead of letting it ring through plastic, so every bottom out lands crisp rather than hollow. Compared to the C16, the spacing is slightly wider to fit the LED rings, and if you've got medium or large hands, that breathing room is a genuine upgrade. Dual USB-C ports with a metal cable clasp mean a stray tug won't unplug you mid-match. It's a fingerprint magnet, so keep a cloth nearby, and like its little brother, it wants an adapter for PlayStation 5. This is the premium PC player's tool, the one that lives in a backpack next to a laptop. Which brings me to the most divisive board here. The Razer Kitsune doesn't use mechanical switches at all. It uses low-profile optical switches where a beam of infrared light gets interrupted instead of two pieces of metal touching. No contact means no bounce, No bounce means no debounce delay, and that's the cleanest, fastest registration you can buy. At 19mm, it keeps your wrists nearly flat and slides into a backpack like a tablet. It's officially licensed for PlayStation 5 with a fully working touchpad, and it's whisper quiet, which streamers with sensitive microphones will appreciate enormously. Here's the honest trade. Those switches are so light that resting your fingers on the buttons can trigger an attack, so expect a retraining period where you learn to hover. Get past it and something magical happens, because those flat keycaps with beveled edges turn the panel into an ice rink for slide pianoing. 360 rotations for a Zangief grab become one smooth caress across the surface. It's a closed system, so what you buy is what you keep, but what you keep is arguably the most precise input device in the category. For a totally different kind of player, the Victrix Pro KO from Turtle Beach chases something nobody else really chases: orthopedic comfort. The chassis tilts forward at 6.28 degrees, calculated to hold your wrists in a neutral resting position. Pop off the aluminum faceplate and a connective grid lets you physically relocate any of the 16 hot swappable Cherry MX Speed Silver buttons, plug the holes you don't use, and build an asymmetric layout around your own hand shape. If you've got a history of repetitive strain and want a macro somewhere your thumb reaches without curling, this is the one that lets you build it. The MX switches sit tall, so presses feel weightier and clackier than the flat optical crowd, and plenty of owners drop O-rings in to shorten that travel. The flip side is that the retaining rings lock the keycaps down, so no amount of violent sliding will ever launch a button across the room. It even stores its own tools inside and has strap anchors for the convention hall. And now for the mad scientist of the group. The Corsair NovaBlade Pro uses Hall effect magnetic switches, which read the position of a magnet rather than a physical contact, and that unlocks two wild things. First, you set your actuation point anywhere from 0.1 to 4mm, so nervous hands can go deep and precise players can go feather light. Second, rapid trigger, which tracks your finger vertically in real time. Lift half a hair, push back down, and it registers a fresh press without waiting for a mechanical reset. If your character lives on machine gun inputs, think Chun-Li lightning kicks. This rewrites the math. It's wireless at 1000 Hz, it weighs nearly 2 kilograms so it never budges, and there are 8 extra macro keys plus memory for 5 profiles. The buttons are tall domes with real walls between them, fantastic for hammering and less friendly to sliding across, so it rewards a percussive style over a piano style. It's also the loudest board here by a distance, so it's perfect for a private room with headphones on, less ideal for a shared apartment at 2 in the morning. So where do you land? Want maximum performance for the least money on PC? The Cosmox C16 is the easy call. Need a licensed PlayStation board with zero software and physical sensitivity tuning? Go Qanba Sapphire S1. Living room warrior chasing wireless freedom, real Sanwa feel and rock-solid lap stability. The Mayflash F700 Flat Elite. Want that open source flexibility in a gorgeous aluminum body? The M Ultra Gen 2. For travel, silence, and pure optical speed on PlayStation, the Razer Kitsune. If your wrists hurt and you want to rebuild your layout by hand, the Victrix Pro KO. And if you're a frame-perfect masher chasing rapid trigger, the NovaBlade Pro is your weapon. All the links are in the description if you want to dig into any of these. Tell me in the comments which one you're leaning toward, and I'll see you in the next one.